Hello everyone, this is T-Bold. Uh, Today I'm going to give an overview for how to use Azure Cosmos DB using C Sharp linq. Now this video contains full-blown coding uh, which tells about how to use a document client, which is uh, an API to connect Cosmos DB in C Sharp. So, before getting started, if you are new to Cosmos DB, there's a link in description. You can have a look in. It's an overview and walkthrough for Cosmos DB, how to access, create, or play with uh, Cosmos DB using Azure portal. So. Uh, so this is the Azure portal where I have already created uh, uh, the Cosmos DB account in my earlier video session. So I'm just going to use the same one, and right now it's online. This is the URI. Just hit refresh. Okay. Um, as you see, I'm using a free trial subscription. So you guys can go ahead and create an account of Azure if you are new to Azure. So this is the database, name of the database, and inside this is the collection game. Collection is nothing but a table which contains documents. So Cosmos DB is also known as a document DB, and all these are documents. So every document would be represented in a JSON form in which would have attribute and value kind of stuff. So I'm going to demo. I'm going to use the same collection. So so this is the code repo. Uh, I have published this source code in my Git. So if you guys wanna have a look, you can go ahead and play with this. The- So actually I've used this repository pattern, a class library to to and make use of generics so that I don't have to create models, model specific CRUD operations. So if you see, there is an interface where I have defined all the methods which I want the Cosmos DB should be operating. And this is the concrete class which I've used generic so that I don't have to make operation calls, operation methods for every model. So I'm just going to give an overview of this before getting started, before showing actual demo. These are the few methods you'll see, like get all. This is this get all function gets all the documents uh, uh, in using expression tree. That means you can filter the documents using using filters using expression tree, which is pretty cool. And like I said in my earlier video, partition key is very important. It plays an crucial thing in Cosmos DB, which yeah, through which we can access data very rapidly and in a very efficient manner with limited RUs. Now, this is the same function which is overloaded, but it has feasibility. We can write, we can provide this function of SQL query, like I had showed in my earlier video. You can also query to Cosmos DB using SQL queries. So you can either you can use this or use this either way. Um, I'll explaining how this SQL queries, what are the SQL queries advantage over using linq. Uh, After this function, this is very important. This is deals with the queries can be fired at server side in form of pagination. So where when we are dealing with large amount of data, we can't bring everything in memory and do the filtering kind of thing. So it's better to paginate the data. Let's say if I have a hundred records, but I can't on a page I can't display all 100 at once or 500 at once. So I would paginate at least to 50 records so I can pass. There would be an page size. And what are this continuation token I'll be explaining in throughout the demo. So how to use pagination at ser yeah, at and all this stuff would be performed at server side which would be at Cosmos DB side where the Cosmos DB is there. Now this function is used for adding a new object, a document or a record in Cosmos DB for a given collection. You can update a given document in a collection or you can delete. So these are just CRUD CRUD operations. This is for disposing when you have used when your operation is done, you can dispose. So I'll start with get. So I had created in that solution I had also created a and console app just to give an demo. Now all this stuff, the configuration part like endpoint and SAS key, database name, collection name, these I have already set in my config file in app.config file. Uh, so you can get those settings, the SAS key from keys and the URI from here and the database name. You just know here that the database name is this and the collection name which you are be working on would be this. So all this four stuff are pretty cool to set, pretty easy to set. Uh, this is where I am creating a connection, Cosmos DB connection for a given collection. So I'll be providing all the configuration inside and once this constructor does instantiate the document client, connection to document to that document DB to that collection would be established. So these are I've just created a simple menu-driven application. I'll execute this so
Okay,
you'll
as you
know
see, the program
better.
has started, and here are few options that you can play with. So I'll start with this particular first option. Get all. So I've been using the same collection, like I said. So it would be getting all the data. So if I hit enter, you are seeing it has printed all the games starting from Ubisoft. So I've just grouped by clustered all the records into one. For example, if you see Ubisoft, which is a very popular game creator, now I see few more uh, Ubisoft games collection. Now some collection some has every collection has a year and it has different games. So there you'll see Ubisoft has multiple games per year. So I've just cluttered them into a single group
and as you see, this game collection has Ubisoft has these many years of games, and these are the games. Then Rockstar, then Naughty Dog, and all this stuff. So it has done its job. It has got the data from Cosmos DB and it had displayed. So what I'll show you, I'll add a debug point here. Sorry guys, I know I have written this functions in an asynchronous, but there's a very bad way to call an asynchronous function in console app. So here, if you see this predicate, I haven't passed this because I don't want right now to filter. I just want everything. And if you see, I haven't provided partition key. So if you have certain criteria to in which the partition key would be satisfied, you can use this. So this is where the URI factory, we have already instantiated our document client. We had our database ID and collection ID. If you see, the database ID is nothing but the name of the database, and collection name is nothing but the name of the collection. That is the table name, I would say. And first of all, we have to create iQueryable query setup. And if you have a predicate where clause, so I have just separated this into if and else. If you have this filtering kind of stuff, I'll be later explaining how to filter. If you have this filtering stuff, you can just go with this or this. Right now, I don't have any filtering, so it would go in this, and it would set all this stuff, query setup to create a document query, and here the document would be executed and as a document query, and here is the execution, you see. So here you will be getting the result. If you see these many documents, the same data that you have got. See, this first uh, collection has 4 records, 4 games. So this is how it's going to work. Now, I had used this repository pattern with template with generics pattern, so that I don't whenever you have created a new collection, all you have to do is create that model in here. For example, like I've created the games collection. This is how the same JSON would look alike, and I've used this Newton soft so that I don't, C sharp has some standards that should be followed if you are using Sonar Cube stuff, to do a code coverage. So the name format should be same, but here it gives the feasibility that all the data which has came in form of JSON from that API call. Behind the scene, the API makes an arrest call only, so it automatically maps using JSON property. So this is very cool. It auto maps so that you don't have to worry about. All you need to do is just define a collection and define the collections model layer, and create a object of a document query by providing that collections type, and you can uh, make use of CRUD operations like get all the stuff, whatever functions I've wrote. So you guys can use my same source code for your purpose also. So it's now this function just prints the data. So this is how the first function is going to work. Now the second stuff I'm going to talk about how to fire using SQL query, actual SQL query, like I had showed here, that there's an SQL query, how it's executed. So you can use actual SQL query if you don't want to play with or filter with linq. Okay. Now, why why this SQL query is better than linq. For example, this filtering type. The linq, if you want to group by or make a distinct to get a distinct record or group by uh, uh, records, it doesn't work well with linq. For that uh, purpose, you can use this SQL query. So I have just created a query here. I want all the games collection having the name of Ubisoft. So if I just hit 2, I'll show you how the code also get flows. But first I want to execute. So, see, I'll be just getting only Ubisoft. I didn't got other games like Naughty Dog or Rockstar or any other records. It just gave me Ubisoft. Okay, same. Ubisoft. Now here what you're seeing are I've just grouped by, like I said, I've just grouped by into a one using a linq under. If you see here in print data, I've just used group by statements to bring every collection group by name, the name the games create, and just print all the video games. So it's very easy. So I'll again show you how. So this, sorry, I forgot to add breakpoint. So this is where the SQL query is going to come, and here to to execute this, you need SQL query specs. It's a document DB uh, framework class to inject your query. So in query specs, you have to specify whatever query you have, and you can use the same stuff to create document query. Just specify create a queryable query setup, and just specify your query specs object here, and you'll be getting the data. Okay, same Ubisoft. Now I'm going to show you the third option, how to get paginated data. So there is a concept called as request continuation, which Microsoft provides. So in Cosmos DB, just like SQL query, in order to paginate, we create some function or stored procedure, and if when we are dealing with thousands of records, we have an offset and limit where in one page I would get let's say if I provided limit as offset as 0 and 50, so in first page I'll be getting 1 to 50 records, something like that. Okay, sorry, it's 1 50. Then in second call, when especially when you are dealing with web APIs or any MVC application where you have a grid where you want to show data which has scroll bar and you have lots of data, in that terms you will be preferring to use either lazy loading or pagination. So the same stuff Cosmos DB also supports. Now this Cosmos DB has something called as continuation token. So there is now here instead of offset, you don't need to provide offset, but here an a replacement of offset is a token, and you have to provide the limit. So for let's say for if you want first 50 records, you have like 1,000 records and you want first 50 records, so 1 to 50. At that time, you have to provide the token as empty because you don't know what token it is or what it would. in response of first 1 to 50, while giving a record of first 50, it would give you a token, and this token would be liable for for the next shift, that is uh, 51 to maybe 100. So this continuation token works in this way. For every next uh, uh, how many records it has, it depends upon that. It would give you token. If you are at the end, let's say I have 100 to 50, and um, sorry, it would be 150. So if you have only 150 records in your database, at the end your the token would be would give you as null, because it knows there are no more data. So Cosmos DB would return the token as null. Okay, so this is how it works, and it works the same way in reverse mode also. If you want the token of this uh, to in order to get here, you just have to pass the same way, which you will be passing in forward or a reverse direction. I have implemented this in many of my applications, so it's pretty simple. So here, if you click on 3, so just I have like 10 records in my database. So what I'll do, I'll pass limit as 5. Right now I don't have continuation token. I didn't got any continuation token. So it would return me first 5 records, and this is the continuation token. How this is how it would look like. Uh, See, I have just passed the limit as 5, so I'll be getting a record count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't got more than 5. Now if I want uh, more than 5 to 10, so I all I need to copy this uh, and paste here as 3, pass the limit as 5, and paste the token. It should give me uh, the next 5 records. Sorry for the serial number record. I am just uh, doing it a for loop and just iterating it. But this is how the first 5 record which it has got: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And from here, if you see Naughty Dog, Rockstar, Ubisoft, Naughty Dog, it's the same way it has got the data using the continuation token. So this is how, if you want to use pagination, you can take leverage of this. The code is pretty simple in here. If you all you need to do, I've used here predicates also. I'll be explaining this, uh, and the sorting also. You can play with both, with pagination, and you want to do like search, and you want that result set should be sorted with respect to some columns or order. You can make use of this. I've already written some functions here that would use reflection, and it would return a query. So this is how all you need to do here, in the feed options for pagination. You have to provide the continuation token if you are on the next set of result set, and this is nothing but the limit page size, and this is how it's going to work. Now, what is a pretty cool thing here, if you see, uh, in terms of get all, or using this query, or this pagination. If you see here, if I hit let's say 3, my third option, I pass limit as 5. I don't have any continuation token right now because I just want first 5 records. So as soon as this document query is been executed, you'll see here this correlation element would return the value as This is the continuation token, same. And the result set you will be getting somewhere in result.dynamics here, this one. So behind the scene, what it does, it creates an actual SQL query and fires at the Cosmos DB. For example, uh, this was just for pagination, but I'll show you for the first one, the first option. If you see this is just an a REST call or expression call. That's what Microsoft does behind the scene, and these are that you can just view what document type of query it is, which collection it is pointing to, its games. Uh, right now, the name of the collection it is. So it behind the scene it generates an actual SQL query. So now I'm going to show you how it generate SQL queries. So for example, I'll be skipping 4 and 5 because it's pretty easy how to insert and delete. If you have my source code, I'll be giving my source code location of Git in the description. You can have it and play with it. If Now I'm going to show how it generates an SQL query. Okay, so now if I'll go with option 6 search, if I want to get only games of Naughty Dog, Naughty, I'll just add a breakpoint uh, in here. I want to search all the records, all the game collection who has a owner of owner name as Naughty Dog. So if you click, it has given me, yes, they have got the record and they have one game collection which has two different games of two different years. So to I'll just add a breakpoint here to explain how 6 NAUGHTY. So this is that filter which I was talking about, which I had created using expression tree. So you can make use of if you want to do filtering kind of stuff, if you want only some records which satisfy some criteria like search or anything which you think of. Right now, if you see, I want to search under if I want to search under this something like this is array, if I want to search something called as Anno or Rocksmith or anything, anywhere. So you can make use of this search. This is how I have created a linq query. It would just create an query expression using expression tree. So I've just hit for whatever fields I have in that game collection. So I want to search whatever string I've provided in name and in location, and in video games we have an other 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 tree inside, means one loop. I want to search by name. So this is how I have constructed a query, and if I hit this, now I have a query, it would go in this particular loop. And if you see, actually it has created an actual Cosmos SQL query. If you copy and paste it here, see, using this, what is a benefit of using link? You don't have to write, you know, um, um, link queries or store it in anywhere in regex file. You don't have to. All you have to do is, if you have you can construct an expression tree using link the models which you have defined for the collection, for getting the data, you can take leverage of that and you can construct this query. It link you, it automatically does. That's the beauty of this create document query, which it does automatically. And once it's fires, you'll be getting only that data. So for example, if I have search for I'll search for Anno. Oh, sorry, I forgot to remove the breakpoint. So see, it has gave me those two records. So this is pretty cool when you don't have to write a typical SQL query, because depending upon what kind of stuff, if you want to design in a dynamic way, I would really prefer to go with this particular way. Now I'll be also showing about uh, how to sort the collection records in a collection. So I just came up with uh, a column which you have the column name. For example, when I say column name, it means the attribute names. It can be name, location, or you can also I have wrote a query in expression tree where you can also sort by video games dot name. So ha the way you have to specify it for sorting is you have to just type in name. For example, if you want to sort by name, you just have to type. If you have to sort that inner child uh, property, all you have to just type video games dot name. It would it would do the job. So right now, you can also sort by ID or whatever fields attributes there are, you can sort. So right now, I'll just type name, the column which I want to sort. I just came up with this convention. I hate typing strings. So for plus ascending, it would be calling the same function and it would be sorted, say alphabetically. N R R U can also sort by descending name. So it has start with Ubisoft. The what is a here the beauty of expression tree, if you see this order by, this is where using reflection you can make use of uh, order order over any column at runtime. That's the beauty of expression tree. Plus, using expression tree reflection with uh, jamming with this Cosmos APS, which is a pretty cool stuff. So this is pretty much it. Uh, I can show for how to insert. Um, for example, if I have some value, some value. Game creator was 1999. Name of the game, engine, release date 19 Feb 1999. The game got created successfully. If I go here, if I hit refresh, you got the data. So this is the same way you can also make use of delete and update. So it's pretty same. So I have uh, I have published my source code in this. I'll be giving this thing in my description uh, in the video's description. If you want to have a look, please feel free. Uh, that's all, guys. Thank you for now.